Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at XM.com. I'm Maria Pachardez, and joining me is investment analyst Marios Hadjikyriacos. We'll be discussing the upcoming employment data out of New Zealand and the outlook for the Kiwi. So Marios, the latest employment numbers out of New Zealand will hit markets overnight, ahead of the RBNZ's policy meeting next week. Is this data likely to affect the chances of the bank delivering a rate cut?
Definitely. So right now, the markets are assigning a 55% probability for a rate cut next week, which is more or less a coin toss, so investors are actually split on whether we'll see a cut. Now, what's important for me is that that probability was 100% almost 1 month ago at the beginning of October. So it has declined quite substantially, and that came on the back of, well, first of all, first and foremost, the US-China trade ceasefire, but secondly, we've also had a run of decent economic data out of New Zealand lately. Well, nothing spectacular, but the situation is improving a little bit. So, as things stand right now, I can't see a rate cut next week. The situation is simply not dire enough, especially with the calmer tone we've seen over the trade war lately. However, we have two major data points until next week, and those could very well swing the market to one direction depending on what kind of surprises we see. So the first one will be this employment report that will hit the markets overnight. The second one will be the RBNZ's inflation expectations report, which will be released one day before the policy meeting. Now that's extremely important. The last two times that inflation expectations fell substantially, the RBNZ started to cut rates aggressively. So I'm going to be watching those data first and foremost as an indication of a rate cut, but the employment data overnight could also prove crucial if we see, any significant surprise.
So bearing all this in mind, what's the outlook for the Kiwi?
I think that over the near term, it's quite positive. We've had a much better trade outlook, and assuming that the US and China sign a phase one trade deal over the coming weeks, and also that the RBNZ does not cut next week, I think we will see the Kiwi extend its recent gains. I think there's still some fuel left in this recovery. However, the bigger outlook is still not positive. So the US-China trade ceasefire is on very thin ice, in my opinion. We might see a phase one deal being signed, but the phase two deal is very far away if it ever comes. That's the difficult part. So I think we're going to see a lot more drama and perhaps even more escalation over the coming months. So we might see the Kiwi extend its recent recovery over the coming weeks, but I wouldn't bet on it holding on to those gains for very long.
I see. Marios, thanks so much for joining me, and thanks for watching at XM.com.